The Corbin bombing incident, a terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. It's the right for it to a resolution. Destiny was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow I can't help but think that there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred. After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it. Episode 4, The Cosmic Turnabout.
One hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?
A knife to the chest. December 16th, 9:12 a.m. District Court. Defendant at lobby number 5. God, thanks for Grace's attorney for unused to calling it defendant antechamber. Time for another trial to begin. This one is different. Sorry to bother you, but... was I making scary faces now? Oh, hi Juniper. Yeah, I'm fine. I was just doing my quadrant gear exercise. Now I'm all ready to go. Yes, no, yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. Is this a lower street? Is that so? Okay, that's superstition. Thanks for this. I'm gonna have some light now. Oh my. Kinda tough now. Kinda evil, but... Oops, if she didn't think me weird before, she will now. I've gotta calm down. Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late. Hi, Vina. Junie, I didn't know you were... Vina, stop! Why am I talking in my normal voice? It really is hard to tell. Great kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo, when will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Oh, wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty. This is our client. One summon One Mr. Sol Starbuck. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine. You wouldn't know it right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. The scene of the climb this time happened to be the Cosmos Space Station. Space Center, not Space Station. Does that look like a different planet to you? Back in high... But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. We'd ask about space travel and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero.
Are you sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo?
Of course I'm sure, I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder.
Thanks, but,
I was supposed to be in space right about now. He's so depressed, it almost seems like an act. Launch getting called off must have been a huge shock.
I'll probably never get the chance to go into space again.
Don't say that. Don't stop believing. Hold on to the feeling. Couldn't resist. Besides, you just have to go into space again.
Yeah, I don't think I could face Clay in the afterlife if I just rotted away in a cell.
Clay Tarrant, I can't believe he was murdered. I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was always so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh?
I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down.
Clay's gone and I'm going to prison. Wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now.
Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine.
What is it? What's with the yelling?
I get a bomb in this thing, you'll see. In exchange, you'll need to go back into space with you and Clay. Promise? Well, about that.
Thought I was gonna soar like a comet. But I'm just gonna crash like a meteorite.
No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out just yet. No, it's hard to lose a teammate, but you gotta keep going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? Just think, I'm and Clay your best friend. We need to focus on the trial right now. Are you ready to go?
The trial is about to begin. If the defense would please proceed into the court.
Okay, here we go. This is it. This is one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer. December 16, 9:55 a.m. District Court, Courtroom, number 4.
Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Excuse me, Mr. Justice?
Yes, Your Honor?
What happened to your eye?
I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Are you sure? I don't...
I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. Keeps insisting it's just a stein.
I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Very well, and the prosecution? The prosecution appears to be ready as well.
Silence!
Not yet. I'm not quite ready yet.
Oh! The prosecution is now ready. Well, didn't take him long this time. What's up with Blackwell? Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence!
I'll do it. You will? What an unexpected surprise. This time I can't leave it to anyone else. I see. Something is off with the two of you today. You both seem different somehow. Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you would. It was just yesterday. The crimes in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Oh, that famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right? Astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. At 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site. Two explosive devices detonated and the launch was cancelled. My word, 2 bombs? How dreadful! The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. One, Mr. Solomon Starbuck. For whatever inane reason, he detonated a bomb on the rocket he himself would be in. Solomon Starbuck? I recognize that name. Isn't he that famous astronaut? Correct your boldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the HAT-1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? They even turned that incident into a movie and everything. We got a real space pioneer in court today. But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights. Returning to the subject at hand. Ah yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Terran, subordinate of the defendant. Indeed, hello, disciple? God, my fury has gone me my ability to speak. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor. Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't the result of the bombing? Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen as an interloper by the defendant. Sir, here's it. Famous last words. Phew, I feel like I just lost 50 years off of my life. Does he even have 50 years left? In a monologue, Athena. In a monologue. Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright's name, and just as we trust. Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well then. Please explain the details of this incident to the court if you would. On it. First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Station. Space Center. God, that's twice I've done that now. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look at what's on the left side of this building. Take a look at this cross-section. Take a look at this cross-section that we, the police, have created. See the launch pad in the main building? The launch pad is the square building, and around its structure is the main building, right? You got it? These are the police. Why have I suddenly made him Scottish? The incidents are placed in launch pad 1 and in the main building is a lounge. I'll be using this diagram during my testimony to make it easier to understand. Why did Fulbright suddenly go Scottish? Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom! We don't need the onomatopoeia. On the second floor of the Space Center's main building, one in Launchpad 1. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in Launchpad 1 at the time. The 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. Murder on the top of a Boeing? Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct? Yep, think you need sabotage. Thinking he'd sabotaged the bombing, the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just look at this tragic photo. Oh my, is that a knife? Is that a knife in the victim's chest? Yes, Your Honor. It's the knife that cruelly ended this young man's dreams. By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in this photograph? We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor. I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all. Yes, it would be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints. Now, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo? Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped from the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples. While obviously valuable for research purposes, it has no relation to his case. I see. So we know that the bombing in the main building was on the 2nd floor. Where was the bomb that was in Launchpad 1 located? That was on the rocket itself. Was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently the area around the launch pads... God, my voice keeps cutting off. Apparently the area around... Feeling time for a brain fart. I would like to submit this diagram report into the record. I was just tired, I'm already in a bind. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the 2 astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be the key. The explosion sparked a fire on the 2nd floor of the main building in the middle.
Objection!
Only the 2 astronauts were in Launchpad 1 at a time. The victim was discovered in the third floor boarding lounge in the main building.
Hold it!
How powerful were the explosions? Well, the one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. Whatever it went off in was burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright? I'm Bobby Fulbright, Hero of Justice. I'll be there whenever people need my help. Go to the other side of the world, or even the edge of the universe. I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. I guess I'll leave that one alone. Admirable decision, Justice Stoner. What do you decide? Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at the time? You said Space Station a third time. The basement shelter? Evacuation report added to the call record. The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point. Guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct? Yep, that's right. One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building, and one in Launch Pad 1.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged the rocket he was going to board with explosives. What are you talking about? The defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket. You get quite the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine, a simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia. Astrophobia? What's that? Fear of space. A fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted. God, thanks for doing my fucking Professor Means voice yesterday. I messed up here. That's absurd. Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. What are they? These anti-anxiety... Oh, I said it properly. Duh. These anti-anxiety tablets will... I swear I'm gonna get the Guinness World Record for the most brain farts in one day. There were a multitude of problems with rockets Mr. Starbuck built some years ago. Why thank you.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go as far as to blow up his own ship. The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name now, could he? No, not after the media had branded him Sol Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire. Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away like some base mod. What, so that's why you think he resorted to the bombing? Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the Space Center, which would effectively abort the launch, but to spare his reputation. Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring justice down on this atrocious criminal. Thankfully, only the 2 astronauts were in launch pad 1 at the time. Now it's...
Objection!
Nope. Sorry, this iPad seems to have switched off my brain. Are you sure it was only the two of them? It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those two. Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket. The notion of a third party in Launchpad 1 is utterly absurd. Just to enter the area from the lounge, one must pass through a door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. Allow me to state up front that there are precious few that claim to do so. A fingerprint recognition device? Sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center. Actually, it's not as amazing as you think, Shauna. Take a look at this photo. This is a door in the lounge with a fingerprint lock. Only personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through. I see. This is very different from what I had in mind. Is there a record of the number of people that passed through that door yesterday? I seem to be having brain farts. Then again, well, at least I have a brain. That confirms that. Yes, there are only three. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the space station center. Why do I keep saying space station? Eerie Cosmos. Does that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it? Not a chance. He was in the main building when the bombs exploded at 9:28, doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts. He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered suspect.
Hold it!
So it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives in actuality. One of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle the prosecution wants to push, correct? You got it. In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have, for sure, tried to stop the bombing. Any chance Mr. Tarrant could have been killed before he boarded the rocket? They're both alive and well at boarding time, and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hopes and dreams of space. And then both of their hopes and dreams were dashed. If I may continue my explanation, after the evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape, carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue.
Hold it!
And he was the first to find the victim? Actually, there were two of them. The Space Center Director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm. One of them was a detective? Yep, Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She and the director were ordering the evacuation following the explosions. They were also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant. Two witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective. He'll be deceased in a day's time. I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. This is the truth that only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. Why is my brain all lazy today? Well, I could get off him, only hurt my case. Justice don't know, foolish is the warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, so I advise you to take a gander at this. What is it? Footage from a security camera. The two astronauts emerged from the bowels of the launch pad 1 corridor. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Now, I would direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering. Which you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. What? Order, I say. This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready. Apollo? How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? Ah, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at that point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Terran was still alive here, and that Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other to safety. What a beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence!
Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed hothead and a dotard. It only makes sense if it's the victim's dead body. What do you mean? All right, explain it to Justice Terran. You got it. Ready, kid? If the murder had occurred in the lounge, someone could have spotted it.
I keep forgetting the voice.
Anyone can enter the lounge after all, but doing it while they were alone in the spaceship, that's a horse of a different colour.
Objection!
You can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. That video shows the man helping his fellow astronaut out. Your assertion is disciple. You have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. Doesn't give a time of death, so can. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. It sounded perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close. Objections? Well,
Hold it!
Your Honor, the defense requests a little time to think and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Fina? It's just there's something that's been bothering me. Which isn't the defense stalling for time, as always? Very well, I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time. You have 5 seconds. After that, I declare this cross-examination be closed, and a verdict be rendered. Your boldness, raise your gavel high, it's time for a countdown. We don't have time, spit out, Athena! Something they didn't explain? Something they didn't explain. Time of death? Ah, you're right. I think I know what you're talking about. Your 5 seconds are up, Mr. Justice. Fuck you, Judge. Is there anything about the prosecution's argument that you'd like to rebut? Yes, Your Honor. Actually, there is. There is something the prosecution has yet to make clear to the court. Well, if you put it that way, what is it that the prosecution has failed to explain? Our motive. Oh no, it was the fucking first one. Maybe it's trippy how it still plays the music here. The defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't you just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. Don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because I have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. What if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? And let's say your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim, he was helping him. Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Space Boy moved the victim. Huh? It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera, so there'd be a record. God damn it, if there was a blooper reel, I'd be on all of them. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. One man carrying the other to safety! What a beautiful expression of friendship. The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds, saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story fit for a silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, yet the true ending is that all traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at an thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
Objection!
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion.
Silence!
Indeed, you are correct. And that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand, which would blow up the courtroom the next day. One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been...
Objection!
Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports you. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, I know that a peculiar item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy some such damning evidence. When the Space Center director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder, they fought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is. No! Mr. Starbuck would never do anything like that! Justice Turner, open your eyes and see the truth. This appears to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there must be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth. So I can't accept it. You believe in your client, come what may. Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has gotta be a trap. Now let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself, famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Witness, your name and occupation, please.
Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen?
Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony?
No.
Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. Why did you ask then? You're being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Talent. Please testify to these allegations.
Mind if I take this suit off?
Silence!
It's not the weight on the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life.
Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore.
Well, not super negative. It's gonna be alright. It'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't... I didn't kill him.
All I did was support Claire over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor.
Claire passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. Didn't kill Claire, was trying to save him. Why am I giving him this voice? Is it a work in progress? So you search you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim? But I bet you think I'm lying, right? Reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony.
Sure you don't believe me. But you don't even believe I'm an astronaut.
I don't think the judge does that. You never seem like that except for an astronaut. I would say that when I saw you in that movie. You appeared quite courageous. Though I suppose reality never quite lives up to a fantasy.
Guess I'm just a big disappointment.
I really don't care what happens anymore.
Oh no, he's completely given up.
What a depressing fellow. You ought to join me in the clink. I imagine that annoying sign of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how I rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago. Huh? That was Blackwell's sign? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean?
Hold it!
So you saying is that the victim was still alive at that time?
Of course, he was alive and well.
Silence!
So, I mean, you admit you took a man who was alive and well. Silence him permanently in this. What? No! Black hole confirmed! Dead ahead! It's no good, Captain! You're getting sucked in!
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you're not in space. Please give your testimony seriously. It was just nerves, but maybe I shouldn't have said he was alive and well. It was more like he was slumped over. Those are complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Objection!
I was right? Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible.
Was I not being accurate?
No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to middle level.
What makes you say that, Mr. Justice?
Please recall where the bomb went off on Launchpad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames.
Oh, you're right, which means...
Exactly, the Launchpad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What's with the helmet?
Mission Command!
Come in, Mission Command, do you read me? Come in, please!
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention. Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck.
My helmet!
My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Where's the medical assistant?
Mr. Starbuck, we're not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth.
Yeah, you seem more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sign. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you use the middle-level elevator?
I was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually took a different route, I think.
Different route?
I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time. Maybe. No, I mean probably.
My voice is constantly changing. Frame, I really need to sell one.
Probably. Let's see, on my escape route, what I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably... the capsule and the clay in my arms. I made my way down from the upper level. Why the fuck am I giving him the same voice? I really can't work out what's going on in my mind today. And that's right, there's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. Use that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached... I'll give him this voice. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned? Suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Town here? Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? Thomas gets what I was saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed it on, but securing the capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I am guilty after all. And if you can see the stars in prison, I bet it's more comfortable in a spaceship.
Objection!
Hmm.
Hold it!
How could you mistake such a basic fact? Hey, everyone makes mistakes, but try thinking about the vastness of space instead. On Earth, it takes 4 light years to travel to our nearest neighbor. Huh? So you see, compared to the vast expanse of space, human error is insignificant. I wish you'd consider it just a little more significant. 0. Enough jabbering. Get on with your test, will you?
Hold it!
Maybe? Probably? Did I hear you right, Mr. Starbuck? I didn't say either of these things. Mission control, come in please. An error has occurred in the sound system. Activate the emergency tin can telephone. Oh no! Tin can telephones are ineffective in the vacuum of space.
Silence!
Stop this nonsense or I'll sever you and your tin can telephone. Alright, I'm begging you. I'll tell the truth. Just don't serve anything. My voice is changing every 5 seconds. Apollo? Is he going to be alright? I'm starting to think he's not. Let's see. So, about when we were running away.
Hold it!
I don't think the meaning of what he just said the same yet. You know what you have to do in that statement. Justice Dono. Yes, I know. I've come this far, no turning back now. It's time to present some evidence.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue. No, that's not right. I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, in the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. What? As long as this was along the escape route.
Take that! Take that!
get down from the upper to the middle level where the launch pad 1 corridor is, you'd have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course, that was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But that would not work. At the time, you supplied Mr. Terran over your shoulder, were you not? Remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him out over 200 pounds. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the space center is located on Earth. Charlotte becoming an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh. So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth now. Engineer, what's the engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to... What the? He's flying the coop? Help, I'm caught on the ceiling. Help, anyone? Hey, left, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. And run through his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that. What's going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Space Boy is prone to deception. Witness? Yikes, yes. I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as... the result of a medical side effect? Prosecutor Black, please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? God fucking damn it. They already state that Space Boy is ironically terrified of going into space. That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. You got it all wrong. I told them during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in the system, but he doesn't remember taking it. How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? Order! Order in the court! You can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this only explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? Guess he didn't want anyone to find out himself had gone to space. Maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question. Of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints just as stuff. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see! And then the defendant could climb down with his free hands.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you're correct. Really? Oh, thanks. Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured. I'm sure you can figure out why.
You can't be implying that I ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion shrapnel would leave its mark on his body. On his body. On the body. In according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws for this line of reasoning.
Silence!
Spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dunn. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the weapon.
Objection!
And should it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? Should, and yet through sheer coincidence. I've slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work. He's got me there. And now my argument's been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rocket and then dropped his body from the upper level. Climbing down, he showed the body, made sure the camera recording. There's no room for debate about these things. It's clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Here, the report regarding the astronauts' oxygen tanks. Consider my send-off gift. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining. After the incident, I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space. Space boy? Yes? Take heart, the bejeweled night sky is so beautiful, even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars are seen from prism? That's right, your cell will be your spaceship. Picture a view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. That's not the half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck? Oscar Blackwell got him good. Spaceship prison cell. Fly me my guilt and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then let's get sucked into a black hole together. Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh? Yes, Apollo. You know, Clay really looked up to you. You said you were an incredible man. You said you'd never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. You said that. So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Terran. Poor Clay? You're wasting your breath. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck, I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent. You'll see. After that, we'll get you back into space. You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. Don't know why, but don't know why I've given him the same voice as I did Gavin. This is no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay die. Boulder ass. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me. Solomon Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Whoa! I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch.
I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He put himself through.
You simpletons are done massaging one another's egos. No matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. Now, but to wait for the final guilty verdict, isn't that right, your boldness?
Can't help now. How to stop Blackwell? I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back into space. Won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. Got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. The only people on Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck. And if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is to prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, you should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now let's see, about this data that we just received.
Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict. You're as bad as Ace Attorney Edgeworth.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. Some might say
3 turnabout goodbyes, Edgeworth.
What about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now? It says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining, while Mr. Terrence had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report?
Of course.
Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes.
You'll explain what you mean, Justice Dono?
Simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description, and you'll see what I mean.
I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Uh... 50.
Yes, Your Honor. Right away.
Take that!
The problem in this part here.
Take that!
Not the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran.
It appears to say 50.
Yes, but according to our data, our client's tank had 80% remaining.
The oxygen in the tank increased.
I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. Bad enough that there is a contradiction, but the increase in oxygen is beyond illogical.
Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd if my rations were to increase.
But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it's the defendant hanging the victim's corpse.
Gonna bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining should increase, just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. You can't overlook it.
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You'd better not disappoint or declare the inconsistency as my equipment malfunction. Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction.
The thing to do at a time like this is to turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried Clay. First man with 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. And if anything, the display on his oxygen tank should have shown 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. What I should be asking is not why did the oxygen level increase, but what had to have happened to make it look like it increased. Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here?
Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer.
Nope.
What if it's the other way around?
The way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice?
As you can see, Your Honor, both men had their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge.
It was what? Order! Order! Mr. Justice! You mean to tell me that the person on the right in this image is the victim, Clay Terran?
The only way the red load increase in oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. When the victim was found in the boarding lounge, his tank was at 0%. This means Mr. Terran was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence!
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim was alive at this point in time, how did he descend the ladder with his arms?
Objection!
What's here, Blackwell? You can't hurt me with a broken blade.
Excuse me?
It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. Even that Mr. Terran was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims. It opens up the possibility that the victim could have been claimed to be the first on the scene. Can we truly trust their statements? Yes, it's only possible. We might have to do a little more digging.
Seems we'll have to hear the testimony of these first two people in the scene.
Score!
Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand?
Here we go. I have an announcement, everyone.
What's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here.
Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated the bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode.
Explode?
A bomb? Now?
Ah, everybody run!
I don't want to die. Oh no, everyone's panicking.
Silence!
Headless chickens are a death wish, love you. Calm yourselves before all this.
What about Mr. Starbuck's dream? He will carry out Clay's final wish. I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting some bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end. Apollo, this is not time to be dramatic. Juniper? She hasn't arrived yet? Juniper! Are you alright? And here we are in the modern day. To be continued.
in the middle of the Space Center bombing. We had another bombing incident. This one destroyed courtroom number 4. Furthermore, Apollo suffered massive injuries from being there when the bomb went off. Unfortunately, Juniper Woods was fingered as a courtroom bomber. Athena and I knew she had to be innocent, so we took her case on. We managed to clear Miss Wood's name. But Apollo sustained further injuries when he was attacked by Ted Tunney. Yeah, poor guy, being attacked by Tony like that on top of all his other injuries. Apollo's resting at nearby Hickfield Clinic. Had some experience with that place myself. What an awful turn of events. Never thought he'd land in a hospital of all places. You must miss him too, huh? Now that you don't have anyone to tease. Don't worry, he's young. He'll heal quickly and be back before you know it. It's been a while since I last saw Tracy look so down. Won the court case, yet nobody feels much like celebrating. This is no time moping around. No join us. You're the only one who's crying, Athena. Technically, look, you have work to do. You have to take over. Take over what? So yeah, this is before he takes leave of absence. Apollo hasn't exactly fallen. He's still alive. Good, now that's been settled, let's get going. Wait, right now? No? We better not be running the whole way. There she goes. I'd better go catch up. You take care of the office, Tracy. Tracy seems to be feeling a little better. So he's counting on Athena to perk everyone up with her infusions. Sounds more like you've got everything. I can always count on Athena for that too. December 19, Detention Center. Visitors room. So our client is one Solomon Starbuck. He's so famous even I've heard of him. That's right, he's a super famous astronaut. God damn it. You seem to know quite a bit about him. I'm more excited to meet the man. Wow, that was the longest sigh I've ever heard. Apollo told me all about you. You're Phoenix Wright, Apollo's mentor, right? Yes, that's right. Mentor has a nice ring to it. And you're the new kid that Apollo told me about. Wait, don't I know you from somewhere? Huh? You mean over there at your trial? I don't think so. I guess so. My mistake.
My memory isn't what it used to be. My mind and body are kaput. Same goes for my life. I'm so astronomically unlucky that I had a bomb go off in the middle of my trial. Trying to defend me would be like trying to enter the stratosphere without a spacecraft. Yikes, he's seriously got to stop depressing himself. Cheer up, Mr. Saba. Besides, nothing you said about entering the stratosphere. That just means we challenge. Like shooting stars, huh? You know, you're right. Why didn't I think of that? After all, that's what we were all put on this earth to do, right? To shine like stars. Guess I shouldn't mention the fact that shooting stars burn out in a flash. Oh yeah, here we go! 3, 2, 1. To the stratosphere and beyond! Yeah, I feel alive now. You can go ahead and ask me anything you want. Is that really all it takes? So you have no memory at all of the incident? I'm so ashamed. My memory of the time is as black and clouded as the dark nebula. Still, it's strange you don't remember a thing. Are you sure you didn't take one of those anti-anxiety God, that's twice I've done that now. Constantly tripping on my words when it says anti-anxiety. You got it all wrong. I told them during the investigation, too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It is true I developed a fear of space because of what happened 7 years ago. And I was taking medication secretly every now and then when my anxiety got bad. Having a fear of space is not something an astronaut can brag about, you know. Oh, the so-called Hat 1 miracle? That must have been a terrifying experience. But I'm still an astronaut at heart, come what may. Would never take drugs that might impede my performance just before launch. That launch meant everything to me. That's more certain than the theory of relativity. He seems like a completely different person now. This is the face of the astronaut I know. But tranquilizers were found in your system. Yes, see, that's the thing. But I don't know why. I'm done for. If you didn't take them, then maybe someone slipped them. Exactly, that's what I thought. It must have been the real culprit. The medication was in my locker. Anybody could have gotten their hands on it. Found out the best voice to give him. Save me changing it halfway through again. Maybe the real culprit also planted the detonator switch in your pocket? Yeah, that's good. I've been framed. I'll say, they even managed to plant your prints on the switch before slipping it in. So a possibility. Do you remember anything else that might be relevant? Anything at all, no matter how small, like about the murder weapon, for example? That knife. I think it came from one of the Space Center's utility kits.